Hello everyone. So today we are going to solve a project which is very important, especially if you are in a college or university or in a school level. The first thing you have to know is the basic Python, and after that what you have to do is to do project. Projects are very much important if you are in the IT field, because at the end of the day people will look for projects. If you have projects with you, that means you are very much confident what you have learned. But if you don't have projects, you will not be able to show your skill. That's why project is one of the top most important thing in the IT field, especially for the programming languages, because at the end of the day you will make something. They will not see the code behind it, they will see the implementation what you have done so far. So today the first thing we have to know is that suppose you are in school or in a college, so we will make a program here which will take the name of the student, and the student will add three number. That means there are three subjects where the student will put their marks, and based on that the total will be calculated, the average will be calculated, and the what the grade will be calculated. Because at the school level or at the college level or at the other institute level, you have to have these basic things in the result, right? That's why it is very much important to know that how to create the code. Okay, so today we are going to start that with Python. Using Python, you have to remember that there are so many languages are there, but Python language we will use here at this moment, because Python programming is very much important. Python has been using in industries for so long now, especially in the AI field and machine learning field, which is very much boom right now. They use Python language. That's why we have to work with Python programming. So first thing we have to know that we want to take the what? We want to take the name of the student, as I said. So the first thing we will do is to take the name of the student. So we are taking a variable here named name, and after that we are taking a input. Okay, so in input what will we write? We will write enter the student name. Okay, so we are doing that, enter the student name. So it is done, right? Because we have taken the student name in the variable. Name is the variable. Here we are taking the input, and what it will display on the screen, enter the student name. That means the result of the student will be stored in the name variable, and the type is string. That's why we have not written anything over here. Okay, so what is the next thing we have to do is that what we have to know the subject one number. So we are taking a variable which is subject one, suppose, and we are taking the input from the student. So the first thing we have to know the input, but input, the number of each subject is what? The number of each subject is an integer number, right? That's why we have to define it, otherwise it will take as a string number, as a string. So that's why we have to define it as a integer, and then we are taking the input. So what will be written? Enter the marks of subject what? Subject 1 out of, suppose we are taking it 100. Okay, so this is the first thing we have written. The first number will be stored in subject 1 variable. Now the next thing we have to do is for subject 2, what? It is also integer type, and we want to know the number of the second subject, so we are going input again, and then we are typing enter the marks of what, subject what, 2 out of 100. Now we have done it. The previous thing, the previous line, if you see in the subject 1 part, we have added a first bracket, and also we have added the first bracket here, but at the end of the line we have to add two brackets. So now we have done, we have taken two subject number. The similar way we will do subject 3, and we are taking input, we are writing input, and then what, can you guess? Yes, enter the marks of subject 3 out of what, 100. We have done that. Now try to understand that at first. Name variable will store the name of the student. Subject 1 variable will store the number of subject 1. Subject 2 will store the number of subject 2. Subject 3 will be store the number of subject 3. Now what we have to do is we have to do the total. So we are taking a variable total, where what will happen, it will add the 3 number, because what will happen, subject 1 plus subject 2 plus subject 3 will make the total, right? So we are doing that, subject 1 plus what, subject 2 plus what, subject 3. So we have done that, so the total will be calculated. Now what we have to do, we have to take the average. So what we know, average means total divided by the number of subjects. Here the number of subjects are 3, so we are doing that 3. So we have done that. Now what is the next one, total we have done, average we have done. Now we have to take the grade. So what we have to do, can you understand what I'm trying to say? Average we have taken, right? Total we have done, average we have done. Now we have to make the grade. So what we have to do here is, if, that means if average is what, is average is greater than equal to, suppose it is 90%, 90, okay, not percent, it is 90, then what will happen, if average is greater than equal to 90, that means if the value of average is 90 or more than 90, then what will happen, then grade will become what, the grade will become A. Okay, similarly, if else, look, try to understand that, if else, right, else if, here L if, that means here if statement is there, not else statement is not there. Right now we have multiple conditions, so if, and we'll then use elif. Okay, elif average, if it is suppose greater than equal to 75, okay, then what will happen, then grade is equal to what, B. Suppose a student is getting 75 or more than 75 marks, then he will get the grade B. And if a student got what, if a student got, try to understand that, if a student got 50, so right, we have done some mistake here. So if the student got 50, then what will happen, then what will happen, try to understand that, then he will get C. If the student is getting 50 or more than 50 but less than 75, then he will get C grade. But if the student is getting what? If the student is getting, try to understand that. If the student is getting less than 50 marks, then what will happen? What? Then grade will become this. Okay. So the this statement part is done here. It has started with if and it has ended with else part. Now the next thing we'll go to the first line again. Now the thing we have to do is the print option, right? So what will happen? We are giving a new line character. The total is what? The total is what? This is not the thing. The thing, first thing we have to know is what? Total number, right? So we are simply writing total is, then giving total. It is done, right? We have done that. So we have written it as total. So we are adding some to understand that. So this is the first thing we have to know. The second thing we have to know is what? The second thing we have to know is total and then average. What is average? Average is, right? Average is obviously the variable name we have written is average. So we can write that. And the next one is what? The next one is very important. The next one is what? Grade. Grade is what? Grade. We have the variable grade. So this is the real program. Now what we have to do is that we have to do what? We have to make it run. So Python 3, then student.py, we are executing it and running it. So the thing we have to know is that enter the student name, right? Suppose it is Ravi, right? So we are taking the student name Ravi and he is getting, suppose he is getting 50 marks. In the second subject he is very strong, he got 80 marks, and the third subject he got what? He got, suppose it is 70 marks. Okay. So what will be the total? If you do that in suppose here 50 plus 80, that means 130, and 70, 200. So 200 should come. So what it is showing, total is 200, average 66.66%, and is getting grade C. Why? Because he has got 66 and we have the code. If the student is getting 50 to 75, he will get C grade, and we can see the code is saying that he is getting C grade. That means the what? The programming is running. When we are running that, we have to make sure that we have taken a folder which is student grade calculator. So according to that we have to go to that particular folder and then we have to what? Execute it. Execute the file, like if we can go like that, and we will write the student.py. So after that it will be executed, and after that we will type python 3 and we can execute it in that format. Otherwise we can write python 3, then this line, this is the line. Okay, so we can see that the programming is running well. So I hope we have understand that how the program works, and we can able to calculate all the numbers of the class. And if there are 1000 students will get the result based on that program. So this is the power of program. We will write the program once, but it will be calculated all the time. Okay, so thank you so much, and I hope you all have understand, and the make sure that you all will do the code right now in your computer and give your result. Just copy your output and paste it on the comment section, and hope you all will be able to do that with this. Thank you so much.